Section 24D, Ethical Standards 24.4, Code of Ethics. As a member of the USAF, you must practice the highest standards of conduct and integrity, not only in your job, but also in your relationships, personal financial dealings, and interactions with the civilian community. Whereas moral values describe what we hold to be right and wrong, ethics is the systematic reflection of these values, enabling us to live and act according to our beliefs. Although following the law is ethical, laws only tell us what we can and cannot do. Ethics, on the other hand, tells us what we should or shouldn't do. Thus, airmen must follow the law, but simply doing so is not enough. Airmen must also develop a code of ethics such that your behavior and motives do not create even the appearance of impropriety, while providing a larger standard to live up to. Your commitment to integrity and excellence will lead the way for others to follow. Nonetheless, personal values, such as happiness or stability, while almost always present, must not take precedence over USAF's ethical values. The key is to align ethical values with personal values and enhance the commitment we have made to the dedicated service of our nation. Our ethical code is prescribed in our core values, our oaths, the Airman's Creed, USAF instructions, professions of arms, and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. When faced with decisions related to mission, personal life, or the interest of peers, the choice can always be made with consideration for our ethical code. Principles and guidelines. Embedded in our code of ethics, and driven by our competence and character, are key guidelines that help clarify acceptable and unacceptable behavior, but also aspirational values about who we want to be. Principles and ethical guidelines can be used to help identify what right looks like and continue to fortify our USAF culture. Title V, CFR, Part 2635, Standards of Ethical Conduct for Employees of the Executive Branch, establishes the basic ethical principles and guidelines that must be followed by every government employee. A few examples of ethical expectations outlined in the regulation are provided here. Public service is a public trust, requiring employees to place loyalty to the Constitution, the laws, and ethical principles, above private gain. Employees shall not hold financial interests that conflict with the conscientious performance of duty. Employees shall not solicit or accept any gift or other item of monetary value from any person or entity seeking official action from, doing business with, or conducting activities regulated by the employee's agency, or whose interests may be substantially affected by the performance or non-performance of the employee's duties. Employees shall not knowingly make unauthorized commitments or promises of any kind purporting to bind the government. Employees shall act impartially and not give preferential treatment to any non-federal entity, including installation-recognized private organization or individual. Employees shall protect and conserve federal property and shall not use it for other than authorized activities. Employees shall satisfy, in good faith, their obligations as citizens, including all just financial obligations, especially federal, state, or local taxes that are imposed by law. Employees may generally not accept gifts from subordinates or employees that make less pay than themselves. Employees may not solicit a donation or a contribution from other personnel for a gift to a superior, make a donation for a gift to a superior official, or accept a gift from subordinate personnel, except for voluntary gifts or contributions of nominal value, not to exceed $10, on occasions of special personal significance, such as marriage or birth of a child, or occasions that terminate the superior-subordinate relationship, such as retirement, permanent change of station or assignment. 4.4.1 Ethical Dilemma. An ethical dilemma is a situation where one is forced to choose between at least two alternatives. 3 general causes or sources of ethical dilemmas are uncertainty, competing values, and potential harm. Uncertainty is the result of not having all the facts pertaining to a situation, not having enough experience for dealing with a situation, or not having a clearly established policy, procedure, or rules for deciding how to make an optimal decision. Competing values occur when our personal values conflict with those of our institution, subordinates, peers, or supervisors. However, the mark of a true professional is maintaining high professional standards despite conflicting values by locating the conflicting values, weighing one's options, and deciding upon the best course of action. Potential harm relates to the intentional and unintentional short and long-term consequences caused by our actions. Decisions and actions. As airmen, we should always think through second and third order effects of our actions. We must apply a sense of order to our priorities so we are able to overcome temptation to stray from our military norms and values. When contemplating what to do, consider possible courses of action by listing the best options and quality-checking ideas to take the right path. When possible, take the decision process to the next level and put each course of action to the test. Dr. Robert M. Hicks, former Deputy Director of the Civil Air Patrol, Chaplain Services, identified 3 tests we can use to check the morality of our actions and decisions. The network test. The network test consists of asking yourself, how would this decision look if it was aired on the news? If your actions were broadcast on the evening news, would you be proud of your actions or ashamed? Would your actions bring credit to yourself and the USAF, or would they discredit yourself or those we owe? If you find yourself leaning toward a negative response to these questions, then your decision doesn't pass the network test. The United States of America test. The United States of America test focuses on asking yourself, is this decision good for the United States? Is this decision good for the USAF? Is this decision good for my unit US? Is this decision good for me? If you take this course of action, are you properly ordering your priorities? If you can't answer with a resounding yes, this might not be the best decision. The divine test. The divine test deals with asking yourself, would I feel good about the decision when I give account for my life? When telling the story of your proud and honorable service to our country, would you include conversation about this decision? Would you feel guilt? Study Guide to Ssgt October 1st, 2023 199. Or loss of trust from this action? If you can't confidently provide a positive response, the course of action fails the divine test. 4.4.2 Honorable characteristics. Airmen share a history of valor, courage, and sacrifice. From the earliest days of air power to the heights of space, airmen have built an extraordinary heritage that forms the foundation for a boundless horizon. We are technology-focused, we embrace change, and through transformation and innovation, we ensure a viable USAF for the future. Always keep focus on demonstrating honorable service and commitment to the profession of arms. Through skills, knowledge, and experience developed in the USAF, listen to your internal compass while fostering the same in your peers. Remind yourself and your peers of the reason you do what you do. Declare the importance of serving for a higher cause, adhering to established ethical codes, and embracing a USAF culture steeped in honor and tradition. Rely on what you know is true and what is right. Be the airman who makes decisions and leads in a way you can be proud of. Airmen firmly grounded in the core values react to combat stresses, operational deployment pressures, and daily home station demands with valor, courage, and sacrifice. While many acts of valor, courage, or sacrifice go unseen, they should be recognized not only as part of USAF culture, but also to illustrate that any airman may be called upon at any time to perform above and beyond in the profession of arms. Valor. Valor is the ability to face danger or hardship in a determined and resolute manner. Valor is commonly and rightly recognized as bravery, fearlessness, fortitude, gallantry, heart, and nerve. When acting with valor, one expresses the willingness to step outside the comfort zone to deal with unexpected situations. Such situations can happen almost anywhere. In addition to demonstrating valor on the battlefield, an airman can exhibit valor when presented with unusual circumstances in the daily routine of life. Courage. Courage is about the ability to face fear, danger, or adversity. 3 types of courage are critical in the profession of arms: personal, physical, and moral. Personal courage is about doing what's right even when risking one's career. Physical courage is the ability to overcome fears of bodily harm to get the job done, or willingness to risk harm to yourself for someone else's sake in battle or the course of everyday life. Finally, moral courage is the ability to stand by the core values when moral courage may not be the popular thing to do. Integrity breeds courage when and where the behavior is most needed. More often than not, courage is manifested as an act of bravery on the battlefield when airmen face the challenges present in combat. Sacrifice. Sacrifice involves a willingness to give your time, comfort, or life to meet others' needs. Personal sacrifice occurs on many levels, but is commonly evident in the heroic actions of airmen in combat. Day-to-day deployed garrison activities also present opportunities to put others' needs before individual wants. Call to duty. Airmen are wingmen, leaders, and warriors with backgrounds and skills as diverse as our nation. When America's sons and daughters commit to service, the USAF takes on the charge to develop them into airmen. The USAF culture is one that embraces diversity and fiercely. Study Guide to Ssgt October 1, 2023 200. Protects its foundational attributes. Over the next 30 years, the USAF's ability to continue to adapt and respond faster than our potential adversaries will depend on the flexibility and adaptability of our current and next-generation airmen. We will recruit, develop, and retain exceptional airmen through strategies and programs designed to develop and care for our total force, strengthen the USAF culture, and leverage development opportunities that employ creative concepts across the force. When faced with the call to duty, we must remember that we are airmen. As airmen, we understand the price that is paid for freedom and the sacrifices that come from willing service to our country. We understand the meaning of belonging to the profession of arms. 24.5. The Airman's Creed. The Airman's Creed was presented to the USAF in 2007 by General T. Michael Mosley, 18th Air Force Chief of Staff. General Mosley introduced the creed as an aspect of one of his top priorities to reinvigorate the total force. The intent of the creed was to enhance the building of a warrior ethos among airmen and establish a coherent bond between the members of the USAF. Study Guide to Ssgt October 1, 2023 201. The Airman's Creed. I am an American airman. I am a warrior. I have answered my nation's call. I am an American airman. My mission is to fly, fight, and win. I am faithful to a proud heritage, a tradition of honor, and a legacy of valor. I am an American airman. Guardian of freedom and justice, my nation's sword and shield, its sentry and avenger. I defend my country with my life. I am an American airman. Wingman, leader, warrior. I will never leave an airman behind. I will never falter, and I will not fail.